All right,
All
now
right,
let's talk
now
episode
let's
three.
All right, now let's start episode three
three
review
of
here.
Episode three
La-
review of The Last of Us. I believe it's called Long, Long Time.
Long time.
I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this episode. I have a lot to say about it.
Let me start. Let me start.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, then go ahead,
okay.
Josh.
go
My
ahead,
name's
Andrew.
Andrew, but thanks,
His name's
Aiden.
Andrew. Go ahead.
Okay, got your tongue, Josh?
Anyway, this is a great episode. It definitely moves away from the video game, from what I've heard, but I never played the video game. This, in my opinion, was like a tiny little movie in an episode. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Dude, it was apocalyptic up. And I fucking loved it. I was there for it, dude. They fucking hooked and reeled us, and like
Oh, yeah.
I assumed the only thing I could think of, because again, I never played the game. I was gonna text you guys that, hey, maybe because I know there's a little bit where you play as the girl and you're not even playing as Joel. So I thought maybe you get to play as Bill, and like this was the backup, or like this is the background to all of that. But yeah, I realized very quickly, like, oh no, this is the show being the show, and this is fucking great.
Yeah. What do you think, Aiden?
No, so I mean, if you want me to go ahead and just spoil it from the game and just the comparison.
And you're not
They
going to
said-
spoil the ending of the game. You're just spoiling what we've seen in the episode.
No, I'm
Just
just
so it's
going
clear to
'cause
everyone
this is
listening.
this is
Yeah.
the game is in chapters, and this is like one of the first chapters that you like encounter that isn't the main area. You know, obviously the start of the game.
Yeah.
But before that they even did this, when they announced this was the highest critically acclaimed episode out of, I don't know if it was just the 3 that we've seen or as many, like maybe the entire first season. But they said that this is the biggest jump that they took from the game to the show. And I mean, everything from here on out kind of is I don't know what you could say, parallels the game. This is the one where they took a story that they had, because in the game you meet Bill and he has this town completely rigged with traps. He's a doomsday prepper, same as how we see Nick Offerman, and but he has what is it, Frank?
Yes.
Frank, and you never see Frank. You never meet him. You go around the game and you pick up notes that are like hidden around in like rooms and stuff, and then you just kind of read like people's stories before they died and stuff like that, like little hidden notes. And you see that Frank and Bill obviously were together. They romanticize each other, but you never see it in game, and they're never
They allude to it.
They're never in love.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere you're like going through towns and houses, like fighting zombies and stuff, and you go into one of the houses and you see Frank hanging from like the ceiling. And one of the notes like upstairs in that house is Frank saying, he was bitten, that's why he hung himself. He didn't want to infect.
Yeah, he was trying to get to
Bill.
the Boston QZ
Yep.
because he wanted to get
And
away from
he
Bill.
goes and he said that he'd rather die than live another shitty day with Bill. So he like was breaking up with him basically.
Yeah.
And then he killed himself. So
Yeah, and they had fights like that a lot in the game, and they would kind of split up for a while and be on the opposite side of towns, but then they'd always come back together. So it kind of shocked Bill to find out that Frank really hated his guts and was happy to be dead than rather spend another day with him.
The show doesn't do that at all, though. Note that.
No, but
No, this
way
one they were
Bill's character is
so
in
in love.
the way Bill's character is at the beginning of the flashbacks in like 2003 is exactly how he was in the game.
Dude, I loved that whole scene. And so what I was worried of when they first introduced Bill, I thought because he was showing oh wow, I'm already forgetting the girl's name. It's not Elle, is it?
Ellie.
Okay, Ellie. He's showing like Ellie, he's like, hey, don't look over there, like you shouldn't see that. And then she looks and it's all the people that they killed and they weren't even infected. But they zoom in on what the mom was wearing in the blanket of the baby, and then it cuts to 2003 and you see them, and I was like, holy fuck,
so
are we getting
good,
this?
dude. The way that they transition
But I go, oh fuck, are we gonna get this sad ass story about this
thought
mom
so
and the
too.
baby? And instead, in turn, we got an even sadder story of these two guys that found each other in this fucking apocalyptic world. It's just like, holy shit, guys.
So that's one thing I gotta mention is that like you forget about that the opening to this episode, because it feels like it's the longest episode ever, and it's like you said, it's like a mini movie. and you got to think that transition to the mom and her like holding her baby, getting out of the carrier, whatever, the truck to go get executed down the street because
They didn't know that, though.
camps, the camps were full, and then it goes to the what is it? I don't know. Fedra goes in. He goes, "Not today, you New Order Jack boot fucks."
Yeah, dude,
That's so
dude.
And it just
and
shows
so-
him that scene behind the monitors,
Oh
like
my
facing
God.
the things, and it's so good, dude.
I
And
can't
it's
lie. Did you guys look it up ahead of time that was Nick Offerman, that he was going to be in
They
this episode?
announced it.
Oh,
So
okay.
you
well,
could see it in the trailer.
I live
Pedro
under the
Pascal.
rock. I don't watch the trailers. I don't pay attention to shit. I just watch the show as it comes out. You
Yeah.
guys know this. I'm like this for every fucking movie we do.
Same way.
I kind of recognized the voice when he was looking at the computer. It wasn't until he came out and ripped off the gas mask and it turned, and I went, "Oh
Sure.
fuck!" Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
if
like,
you had no
"We're-
idea, then that's
We're
that
gonna see
makes it even better.
apocalyptic Ron Swanson."
That's exactly what they did.
Dude, it
So
was
one
so
thing
sick.
that I think
Go
should be
ahead.
noted that I thought was kind of cool, because I've liked, Brian, you mentioned this off recording. One thing that they've done, or maybe it was Josh, one thing that they've done every episode is at the beginning you kind of get a hint at what it was like before everything broke out. And I liked that in this episode we actually got to hear Joel's theory on that. And it made, because I didn't know that. I'm following the show as it goes. And
Yeah, Aiden said that about the gluten thing.
yeah, I listened. I wasn't
wheat.
obviously on episode 2
Yeah.
of this. I listened to it and heard what Aiden said about the
Yeah.
wheat and it being. So I thought that was cool that Joel said that and kind of explained that to the audience and said, like, this is what I think, because that seemed very realistic. Like, you accidentally
It
get
is.
something in the food supply like that, and you'll take out a huge percentage of the population. Really
Which you know that
quickly.
what that means, right?
What?
If this happened to us, I would have never been infected.
Yeah, you'd have been fine.
I would have never been infected. And honestly, the way
about
my
it?
body
But
rejects
then they would think
gluten,
that the
and
I
in
think I might be
2000
immune
behind
like
it.
Ellie.
in 2003 though, Joshua, you totally would have been eating gluten left and right.
No, I was only a
Yeah.
baby because I'm
You were
younger than you
full
guys. So
glute.
yeah, so
So
I'm
I
not
heard
only
that
younger
it's
than them.
actually what they're going to do, supposedly. Now, this is a conspiracy, is they're going to actually taint the gluten-free food to take all the weaklings out. They can't.
Yeah, because it's
Oh,
like
it's over.
It's like, oh, he can't eat this without getting a bellyache. Let's just
yeah,
fucking
shitty
kill him.
immune system.
Everything
You're
is filled
weak.
with this fucking dairy and gluten trying to take you guys
Yeah,
out.
they're gonna reverse it, and they're gonna take you out.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Once it happened right in the episode, I'm like, damn, Aiden was right.
I know. I was surprised that they announced it. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. I pulled the Leo moment where you hey.
Point at the screen. Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I thought.
What'd you guys think about the plane thing? The plane.
plane's crazy.
Yeah, they did that. I think that was one of the first pictures they released of the show when they showed the plane to promote it. But I liked it because like that's a thing we take for granted is flying and like things like strawberries and stuff, which is later in the episode. But
Mhm.
I liked how this episode really showed like things that we take for granted every day. So
Yeah.
I will say, dude, one of the funniest fucking things is when they're having the argument when he wants to ask for the paint, and he's like, "You were conspiracy theorists. You thought the government were Nazis." He goes, "The government are Nazis." He goes, "Well, not then." Which then me with my tinfoil cap, like, he's so right. They were in there in 2003.
Well,
This
well,
was
that's
New
the thing
World
is, like,
Order.
my favorite part of this episode is when he comes out with the gas mask and he's sitting there. He literally he's in the basement and he has a cellar, a bunker underneath his basement.
Underneath the
So
basement.
that's why it's so sick. And then you just see, like, because that's real life. Like, we have doomsday preppers and like they wait for this
Yeah.
moment. And those guys are at home like fucking this, doing the Leonardo DiCaprio shit.
Mhm.
But when he goes and he gets the truck and ties the boat and just does everything he wants, he goes to Home Depot, he turns on the gas, and he does.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
just,
Because
like-
that was quick, and then it cuts to him bursting through the gates of the power plant.
That's like realistic. Because if you say, "Oh, if this ever happens to me, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here,"
That's what
watch
he
it. They
did.
bring it to
Well,
life.
and the
Yeah.
and the him going to Home Depot thing when he's grabbing all that shit,
Yeah.
it reminded me of the Parks and Rec episode when he goes to Lowe's.
Yeah, he goes,
And that
"I
guy
know
came up
more
to
than
him.
you."
Yeah, I know more than you. Like that's what it really reminded me of. So that was funny.
Really quickly before I forget about it, I've mentioned it how I like how they make it jump and it's like a game, and how they made it feel good. Like, so we're getting all these time jumps as Bill and Frank are alone, and all they make note of, Frank's like, "We're making friends. I met this nice lady on the radio," and it ends up being fucking what's her
Tess.
name? Tess. And then it just cuts again out of nowhere, and fucking Pedro Pascal is fucking sitting there and they're having
Sitting
dinner.
there,
And it's
yeah.
just like that was super cool. There's nothing like, oh, they're coming. No, they're just boom, they're here. Now here starts the friendship, even though he's like, I respect you. That's his way of saying that he's a friend, which again, Ron Swanson moment for me. That shit was so funny.
It was a cool way to have Tess back in too.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
they
And it was
de-aged her too. You saw that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
She looked good.
Yeah,
I think they had her aged up,
I would assume.
like with all that makeup because she
Yeah.
like got beat up or
Yeah,
whatever.
possibly.
Sense.
When let's talk about Frank. He meets Frank. They talk about Arby's or whatever. He gets him out of the
Stupid-ass
hole.
line.
This is not an Arby's. He
I
goes,
thought it's funny.
Arby's was a restaurant.
It is funny, but it's like even when they showed the trailer for it, I mean, I was like,
Yeah, and I like the moments. So I watched the episode twice, and I listened to the podcast after because HBO does their podcast thing, and it's actually really good. But I
Got a lot
watched
of
it.
free time.
I do have a lot of free time. When Frank was in the house and goes into
Arby's.
yeah, when Frank goes in the house for the first time and he like runs his finger on the mantle and you just see how dusty and awful it is, and
Yeah.
then he tells like Bill to go take a shower because Bill probably hasn't been showering because why would he?
Yeah.
And
I liked all those like small things that like Bill doesn't really care about that shit. He just wants to survive. He doesn't really care about living, which Bill cares about surviving and Frank cares about living. And obviously they kiss and you just see them both crying because it's been 4 years since they've come in contact with people or at
with
least like felt this
anyone,
connection.
probably.
Yeah. Well, at least Bill, right? So
Yeah.
and they probably thought this would never happen, like ever again. So
Mhm.
I thought that moment was really like it
Well,
was a
Bill
beautiful-
never even experienced it in real life.
Yeah.
Because he was closeted. So
Yeah.
that was like another layer to it too. And again, it's fucking cool that they can make you care about this character that dies by the time modern day our heroes fucking show up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to jump the gun too early because I mean this episode, like I said, is long as shit. But
Jump
one
it.
thing that stuck out to me, Josh, and you're the only one that would understand this, when they originally go to the gas station to get his like stash,
Yeah, where the
the
game is.
toolbox that he
Mortal
brings
Kombat.
out is green, like the toolkits that you pick up.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
watched all these YouTube videos, and not one of them mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I don't think.
What
those
did you guys
motherfuckers
think
played the
about
game.
Ellie like killing the infected at the beginning? The
Yeah, that was
stalker?
weird. But again, you got to remember she's a teenage girl, like going through like not only puberty but living in a fucking apocalypse. And it's just
she
like,
seems
now
to
she's
be
gotta
a little
figure it out.
strange anyway.
Yeah.
Like that seems to be her character, that she's a
Mhm.
little bit strange.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, because I saw online people were taking it different ways as to what they thought she was doing when she kind of like sliced above his eyebrow first. I was just thinking she was like curious to see if it's
Like
like a human, the way it
experimenting.
bleeds.
Yeah,
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 like
she
to get
was.
close.
And
That's
you
what
can
I
see
took
the
it as.
cordyceps coming out every slice that they get. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
That
it
should
doesn't
be-
react.
that should be
Yeah.
mentioned that this show, the artwork on the monsters, I think I texted in the group chat and Aiden, you responded. I said, this show is disgusting, but in a good way.
Dude, you can't eat
So
it,
it's
man.
it's the same people that did the King from House of Dragons and
Okay.
they did the
Vecna.
Vecna. Yeah, Vecna.
Yeah.
So they know what they're fucking doing. I mean,
Oh
they
my
look incredible. The way that I
gosh,
was
is it-
following her knife too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really
it's
cool.
So when
gross.
that episode, when that part of the show came on, I really thought it was a clicker. I'm like, no fucking way. But then it ended up being a
You can see the one
stalker.
eye. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Aiden, so when they skip ahead 3 years and Frank comes out of the house and they're yelling at each other, that's when I'm like, here we go. This is what I know from
Yeah,
the
that was
games.
good.
That's
but
when
that
I was like, here we go. And
But
then
even
no.
like that scene before it was like a big scene, and then it just cuts to black, and then the door opens and you just see him run out, and like it's just good how they like what happens without them even showing it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's great storytelling. I feel like that's exactly how House of the Dragon was, and that's why HBO like does a great job. Not even just giving them the budget and doing all that. Like the shots are just perfect. Like, I mean, I don't even want to rush it, like I said, but that ending scene with the window open, just like the start of the game, like, dude, that's money.
So
Yeah.
Perfect.
I watched the thing after the episode where they kind of talk about it for a
Yeah.
sec. I didn't do it on purpose. It just started playing, and then I
No,
started
you
listening.
should watch
You
them
should.
all.
They're good.
They're great.
But so I'm listening to it, and they said that they had that scene like that on purpose. That way, the last thing viewpoint of you have is a happy image of them together at
Mhm.
dinner.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
why it
don't
doesn't
actually
show their
s-
skeletons.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
that was perfect. Like, what a way to do that. And because
This,
I liked how they ended it, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, and that's what they were saying. They're saying it's not a sad ending. Like everyone's like, that's the saddest thing I ever watched. They said it's a happy ending. Like, you got to think like these dudes are in an apocalypse, and that's like they found a happy ending. Like they
Mhm.
Did you
like, it's
guys-
Did they
great
say what it
story.
was sick with?
Cancer.
Parkinson's.
It's
It was
Parkinson's?
terminal.
Apparently, I don't know. I heard
Park-
Parkinson's and I heard terminal cancer.
Parkinson's.
I thought it was
Popping
Grows
ALS.
out the part.
Parkinson's.
When I was watching, I thought maybe it was ALS or cancer, but I don't know.
See,
I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure it was
I
just
thought it was
cancer, they
ALS, so
said.
I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So
I think it was ALS because he says we didn't have a cure for this even before.
Yeah, but that could
Right,
be
that's
cancer,
that's
too.
what I was thinking. Yeah, but cancer you at least had treatment. Like ALS, they kind of tell you like,
Yeah, but they
good
can't.
luck.
yeah, but they don't really have that treatment accessible to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
but either way,
You
I
know.
mean, I love it how, like you said, like even when they do dinner with Joel and Tess,
Garden party they had.
yeah, I mean that's great, and you can see in the background like he did give him paint, and he painted all the houses, and he mowed all the lawns and stuff like that. It looked like
Yeah.
an actual town, but I kind of the only thing like that's like in the story you see Bill, you're with Ellie, and Ellie never even gets to meet Bill, and she's going back and forth. He handcuffs her.
Yeah,
She's
it's
like
great.
calling him F-bombs, calling him a bitch, calling him all this stuff, and they have like a bad reputation. Even when they leave and he gives them a car, she's still like "fuck you," like all this stuff. So
Yeah,
that's one thing that would have been pretty good.
yeah. That's
but-
that's probably my one gripe, and I wondered how people who played the games would react to it.
It seems positive, man.
Yeah, it seems positive from what I've heard. Here's the thing. When it comes to the game, when you meet Bill, he's this asshole who is cut off from the world and only cares about himself. And Joel, as a character, learns from Bill that he shouldn't be like that. He shouldn't close people off, even though he wants to because of what happened to his daughter and then Tess. Whoever he gets close to, he ends up getting hurt. So it's easier for Joel to just shut people out. But watching Bill, he doesn't want to be like that. So that's what helps him out in the game, right? In the show, Bill ends up opening his life up and caring for someone. And that shows Joel that maybe that's what he should do.
Yeah,
So,
well, that note,
regardless-
that fucking note, he said guys like us need to do this.
Yeah, for
Like
people like
guys
that.
like us need to like watch out.
Yeah, so regardless, the same message is pushed across. And in the game, your whole purpose for going to Bill's was to get the truck, which
Mhm.
happens in the show. So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the same thing happens. You get the same thing. And if you want that so much from the game, go play the game. That's what the game's for. The show
Mhm.
should be a little different. So yeah, it does suck that we didn't get to see Ellie and Bill react, banter back and
Interact.
forth. Because that is a great part of the game. I'm not gonna lie, but that's what the game's for. So if you're missing out
Yeah.
on that, you've never played the game, go watch the cutscenes.
But no, that's the
They're
thing.
there.
I mean, I couldn't imagine them doing anything else like than this. Like, I mean, like it's just crazy how it worked out.
The only thing I will say that pissed me off about this episode was when the Raiders showed up, which also Joel called that shit.
And that's cool that he
Ah,
called it.
Yeah, but the Raiders show up and then fucking Frank gets Bill shot, and it's like, you stupid asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, Bill,
fucking
I don't know why
had
Bill
that
was
shit
standing in the middle of
down.
the street.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. That's like, I feel like that's a huge point. Like, we don't see like he does all this preparation, but you never see it get attacked. And when
Mhm.
it does get attacked, you don't see like anything going crazy. Like that tripwire with the shotgun killed the zombie. Like
That was a
that's
good
sick.
one, dude. He
We should have
just
seen like
laughs and
some
eats his
dark.
dinner.
We should have seen some dark. All we saw was dude just getting lit on fire. Like
Mhm.
it could have been a lot gruesomer. It could have been like
I
some
think it just
Tarantino
showed
shit.
that all of his traps and everything did
Were
work because he
working.
even said
Mhm.
he's like, just keep the gas on, it's gonna burn for days. Like
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like,
getting
I
in-
liked how he was like, just call Joel.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like
Love
that,
that.
too.
But then
He's
that's
like,
where
Joel, look out for you.
But that's what
Yeah.
ties into the other best part is it goes black and you see him on the table, Frank's taking care of him, and then it goes that long shot from down the end of the road and someone's in a wheelchair. You see the door open, it's like, all right, let's go inside. And you're like, oh shit, that's Bill in a wheelchair. Complete opposite.
Yeah, so
because
Brian
even
and Andrew,
before
did you
that-
guys think he died?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
I
I
thought
didn't,
Joel.
but from the
I
game.
well, I didn't know. So
Sure,
I
sure.
thought Joel was gonna be there. I thought that was the transition into it.
Oh wow,
Seeing,
okay.
seeing
Yeah,
that,
see,
that it was
sorry.
Frank in a wheelchair and that was Bill pushing him. I was even like, wow, we're still on this adventure. We're still going with this
Yeah.
plot, and I was happy about it.
Brian,
I
what'd you
don't
think?
know. I just thought when he was laying on the table, I just thought it should have been Frank because I was like, no fucking shot they kill Bill like this. I go, Bill seems like a badass even in the games. I don't even know shit about him.
Yeah.
And
But
I
that's
don't
the thing
know.
is, I mean, everyone watching it, even if they play the
Yeah,
game, like they have
so
no idea what's
so
gonna happen
him
at
getting
this point.
shot though, like I didn't know that he was gonna make it out of there. I was actually gonna be pissed if they killed him, but I had no like idea what they were about to do. And then yeah, like Andrew said, it cuts and it's just, oh fuck, that's Frank in the wheelchair. Like damn.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a totally unexpected twist, but I thought they did that perfectly because, like I said, you
Mhm.
just keep the story going, and now
Yeah,
you're
plus
like,
the
wait,
calmness in Frank's voice kind of made me feel like, all right, he's gonna be all right. Like he's got this.
yeah,
Yeah, and I liked I love the strawberry scene. I thought it was like the way it was shot was really cool with the sunset in the background. I thought that was really cool.
He hit the Ron Swanson fucking giggle basically.
Yeah, the giggle, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
white and starts giggling.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, dude. It's been 13 years since they've had like, I don't know, strawberry, and it's like, I don't
and they
know.
had some comedic relief too. You know, they start to get a little romantic, and they're like,
Just,
"Whoa, not in front of the
strawberries.
Yeah. Well, even when they're running, Frank's like, I gotta show you something. He's like, huh? He's like, not that. That was funny. What did you guys think of their last day?
I
It
liked
was
it.
good.
I
That was
liked
sad.
it a lot.
That was
It
sad.
was sad.
Now,
See,
did you
that's
guys?
the thing is, you're watching it
guys
real quick. I
think-
mean, what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you guys think that Bill was also? I figured he was taking pills as well. Did you
No,
guys think
see,
that?
I
but that's the
thought
thing.
Bill-
I
is, like,
didn't because the game. It tricked
Yeah,
me.
because
Okay,
you play the
see,
game and you expect all
I
this.
knew
but
Bill was
then
alive in the game, so
This entire
Ah.
episode, you're like, all right, well, you can't predict anything, so you're just sitting there waiting for like something to happen. You see him get shot, you're like, oh shit, is he gonna die? Like, how are they gonna kill Bill?
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Then,
Kill
but then, then they go and I mean, they completely flip it, showing that what's his name's ill and Bill is taking care of him now.
Mhm.
And I mean, then after that, like, I mean, he gives him the thing, and all you see is him just being emotional and he's crying nonstop. And then you assume that maybe he's just not gonna kill what's his name because he's still like he's fine. Like, yeah, he's
It's like a misery
inoperable
type
and, yeah,
situation.
he's
He's just keeping him
handicapped.
alive.
But then again, he's suffering, but not as in like pain suffering. At least that they tell you about.
yeah. So in the game, Jules never even been to Bill's house.
Mm-mm.
And-
church.
Yeah, they're in the church, but like but Joel's never even been all the way to his town. So like, that's what's different. And so again, I'll say it again. Bill survives, but Frank lives, and Frank in the game wants to live, and Bill only cares about surviving. So Bill doesn't change his ways, and that's what drives them apart. Whereas in the show, he does change his ways for Frank, and they do have friends and stuff like that. So that's when it starts like going opposite
Friends.
ways from what the game is. So I should have realized right then and there that Bill's pretty old too. He's lived life. The 16 years or whatever he spent with Frank were better than all the years of his life. He loved him. So it's the love of his life. So I should have put it together that he was gonna also go out with him. But my head was programmed from the game. I'm like, well, I know Bill lives. So
Yeah, and I guess that's a good thing that we have, two of you guys that have played the game and two of us that haven't, because we're getting both
Yeah.
perspectives. Because in my head, I really thought I had no idea Bill was still alive. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he's going out with Frank. Like, there's no way he's
Yeah.
gonna try and outlive.
that's
you could
why I
tell
asked
he was old.
when he was on the table bleeding out. That's why I asked you guys, because I there wasn't a doubt in my mind he was gonna die. So I was like, he's not gonna die. So I didn't even
Exactly.
That's
about
funny.
it, but-
So we had
Yeah.
flip flopped perspectives.
Yes.
Where I thought Bill was gonna die, you thought he was gonna live, and vice versa.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, their last day where they go walk by the hole that they met each other in. They went to the bouquet shop, right? They got their clothes, they got married. I like that a lot. I think gay marriage in the state they're in became legal the year after the apocalypse was set in 2004. So
Oh, in real life.
yes, in real life.
Massachusetts.
Yes. And then they had the same exact meal that they had the first day they met. And he even turned the plate just the way he did. They ate rabbit. And I think it was the same wine that they had too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I thought
Hey,
that was
so
all
they
really,
bought
really
the
cool.
Camus, and Camus is fire, man. That's like one of the only wines that I've actually tried.
Oh,
It's
really?
just good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I loved when they're walking down the hallway and it just starts to get more and more blurry. And they're playing the music from the game. One of the
Dude,
best songs.
It kept playing
It's so
throughout
good.
the entire like that episode. Like they would have little hints at it.
Goosebumps,
And
dude.
that last one, dude, it was perfect. The loading screen, like that's one thing that sticks out about the game. It's just like Halo.
Yeah.
Like there's just that guitar that's like stringy, and it's so good, man.
Yeah. And and it was really cool once Joel and Ellie get there, because like the flowers haven't been watered and their plates have dust on them and the food is rotting. You know, clearly it's
Does-
been
so
weeks, maybe a
how-
month.
I was gonna say, yeah. How long do you guys think it was?
I think a
in the
month,
Okay.
probably, if I had to guess.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Actually, they say at the end that this track, if Bill doesn't reset it, it'll automatically move into the.
It's 3
80s.
weeks.
Okay, so yeah, about a month probably.
Yeah. And that's the 80s song we hear at the end of the first episode was from Bill. Really cool. Because the song thing isn't a thing in the game. So I wasn't sure where that was going. I didn't want to mention that in the first episode. But
But
yeah.
one of the biggest takes from this is that you got to think like from game to show, adaptation wise, he has full access. He has that entire bunker. He has that entire town to come back to. So I mean, you rarely ever go back. Like they tread back in their adventure in the game. But I mean, like you said, they can switch it up big time. He can go back.
Well, all the guns he had access to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's got all that.
Yeah.
It's dope though. So
yeah. I think I personally think this is the best episode we've had yet. And I say it every week. I'm like, there's no way the next episode will top this. I don't know if that's how you guys have felt. But yeah, I don't know.
I just gotta know, Aiden, what the fuck is blinking on your screen, dog?
John Summit going on.
Tune into YouTube to see what's happening.
Got a rave going on in my room.
God damn.
But yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I again, too, we said I think this probably is one of the saddest things I've seen from a new television show in years. But Aiden's right. Really, when you think about it, they won the apocalypse because they fell in love with each other and they got to live a somewhat normal life with hot water and electricity and everything like that without being bothered really that many times and had friends.
Bill had it set up.
Yeah. So
He did. His town was sick. So
Yeah, Bill's
they're
kind of
eating-
selfish
they're
for
literally
just
eating-
killing himself and not just handing it off to someone.
well, he
Yeah,
handed
what
off
do
to
they eat?
Joel.
Wait, he handed off to
Like,
Joel.
frog legs.
I guess.
Yeah,
I
because
like
Joel
like
would
the
have
note.
Joel
I
would have
like the
went
note to anyone, probably Joel.
With Joel.
the he.
yeah,
Yeah, and the part where Joel sets up the 3 rules for Ellie, straight out of the game. I liked how he had to look at her bite one last time to verify, in his head that he was going to continue doing this. So in the game, she doesn't get bit twice. In the game, they have spores, and she can breathe them in without affecting her. So that's how he knows she is immune. So in the show, since they don't do spores, they had to do something different. So I liked that they went back from doing that second bite for him to check her arm again to see that it's basically healed. So because I was like, I thought back to that second episode, I'm like, why did they have her get bit again? Like, what's the point of that? So now it made sense to me. Oh, like he needed to verify that she is immune, that she's not lying to him.
I haven't seen the trailer for the 4th episode.
I watched it.
I gotta watch
watched it.
We're off.
And normally I do.
Aiden, I'll say this: it's not a spoiler. It's apparently not Pittsburgh. It's apparently Kansas City.
I think I heard that.
Yeah, because they're moving in the show. They said they're trying to go to Tommy,
They're going
who's in
west.
Wyoming.
So
Yes.
yeah, I mean in the game they travel west, but
Don't
it's
spoil
like,
what it is, though.
yeah, but they just go in. I mean they mentioned it in this episode. They're trying to find the
Yeah.
fireflies.
I'm saying don't spoil what happens.
No, but they go and they like just keep treading. They keep going on, but I guess in this one they're going deeper. Like they're gonna go across America. Like they're kind of pushing it in the show.
Travel the country together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So when did they become friends?
Probably
it's,
this
I mean,
episode.
you saw her. You
Because-
saw him give her his coat, like in the woods and stuff like that.
But
There's
she has a
small
gun now.
things.
Some food.
But
Yeah,
she's
she's
got
got
a
a
gun.
gun.
She's got a gun now in this episode, and she's been begging for one. And I mean,
She's gonna
it
shoot
kind
him in
of
the leg.
Hey,
What if
and
they
they're
just
wearing
gonna
their-
save his life.
What if they
And they're
just
wearing their
killed
clothes. Their
Joel?
game accurate clothes now.
Yeah,
What if she just accidentally killed Joel?
that'd be
I think that's
good.
what he's worried
Oh,
about.
actually, so one thing that I am just probably stupid, didn't realize from the first episode, but I just watched it again because I was watching it with Emma. That little kid in the beginning, I didn't realize why they killed him right away. They literally scan him and it shows it red
Yeah. And they just
over
shoot
my
him.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They
why
lied to him and
that's
said,
why
like,
the
oh,
girl
we're
wouldn't
gonna
pick up
shoot.
the body. Pedro
Yeah.
Pascal had to. Yeah.
Over my head.
Yeah, but then it also shows you how his daughter died, and now he has like no remorse for like
He doesn't care. He's shutting
yeah,
himself off.
He's
from the world.
emotionless.
Yeah, no, I picked that up. I just didn't understand
Yeah.
why. I didn't realize that they actually tested that kid. I just thought they killed him because but they actually show
They just
they
kill
show
him.
you on TV.
Oh, and the song they're listening to in the car ride at the end is the same song that Bill and Frank play on the piano for the first time, which is really cool.
Nice. I figured as much.
And then
there was,
too,
like, a
another thing
ton of
was
little
the
Easter eggs.
first time we see Bill, he has a gas mask on, which is the first when you see him in the game for the first time, he's got a gas mask on. So that's another cool thing. Just a bunch of cool shit. This show's awesome. It's funny. I texted Nick Pell the next day after watching episode 3 because we watched it all Sunday night. All of us did. The 4 of us did. But I texted Nick Pell that next morning because I rewatched the episode again and I was like, I think he'd like this, especially like Nick Offerman. He likes Nick Offerman a lot. And he literally texted me back, okay, in all caps, and then sends me a screenshot that Andrew just texted him hours before me, telling him to also watch the show.
Yeah,
So-
see, but now you guys fucked it because too many people think it's good. Now it's too
So-
popular.
Yeah,
I
now
know.
it's
And
popular.
Nick Pell is a giant fucking
Yeah, but
hipster.
we
So
were first.
if he would have
Yeah.
heard about this, if he would have played this game when it first came out, he'd be all over it. But
Yeah.
because now you two have
Yeah.
told him to watch it, he's
So
gonna be like,
my text
no.
to him, Brian.
My whole
was-
family's watching it now and everything.
my text to him, Brian, was The Last of Us HBO. It's real hyped up right now, but I go, I think it might be warranted. And he said, okay, I'll check it out. But now we got Josh too. Maybe you should text him too. He'll
No,
definitely
I'm just
know.
gonna piss him off. He's gonna blame me.
That's what's funny. Just piss him
Let
off.
that man go. I want him to watch it though. I want him to come to me like it's a shock that I haven't watched it.
Ah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
He doesn't even
But-
have HBO Max.
Yeah, come over here to pay his respects.
All right. Should we?
But yeah, let's
we can
we'll
close
be back.
out.
We'll be back next Friday for episode 4. So if
And
you're
I
here
want the
for our
boys to
last
stay
episode-
back unless you want to add it to the episode. I got something to say.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Last of Us related, but I did finish Enemy last night.
Mhm.
Jake Gyllenhaal movie, 2013. Dennis Villeneuve, A24 produced. One of the craziest movies I've ever seen in my entire life, hands
It's
down.
like Prisoners good or
It's literally 90 minutes and it makes absolute zero sense.
no? It does
At
sound
all.
awesome.
So I'm telling you, it's a quick watch, and all of us, you can pick different things off. Like Brian might be like, "Oh, this is what it means." You guys can each have your own opinion. on
Brian's
it.
gonna say something.
No, but it's
Tinfoil
like, dude,
hat.
I'm telling you, I was watching last night, and not once was I ever so scared of an ending of a movie.
right
even-
there.
Hey, it's not even a horror movie, and I literally, I almost screamed. I was like, "Ah!"
Ah!
the shit out of me.
Oh, my pearls!
You don't even guess it.
All right, we'll watch it. Enemy.
I'm
coming
telling you, we got to
soon.
add
We'll
it to the list
throw it
because
onto
we'll,
the
we'll have a
schedule.
field day on it. It'll be a great episode.
All right, well, let's talk movie theater snacks.